Our biking journey began after 38 years of a marital discussion to affirm each other's concerns, and so we rented a minivan one way to carry all of our gear and us out to Astoria, Oregon, leaving Colorado in a huge snowstorm, one of the biggest of the year. We had hoped that wasn't a sign of what was to come, but as with all journeys, there are no guarantees, and you just keep on rolling. We left Astoria, Oregon in May with the hopes of ending in Yorktown, Virginia, but as the weather would have it, we ended up in Washington, D.C., some 4,200 miles and 96 days later. It was all amazing.
Going over Mackenzie Pass.
Yeah, not quite there.
It's been a hoof up, but is this not unbelievable?
Still plowed ahead of us. And this is how you cook breakfast on a cold, actually it's not too cold, but it's foggy day at Bates Park. Cooking some oatmeal here. Yum. So a couple things in the morning that we love. There's a good cup of coffee, which we rarely get. And seeing that, yeah, a downhill is always good for the soul.
So I thought I'd give you all a sense of what we have been running from on our bike trip. That's the roof of our tent. This is where we are. All hunkered down at 7-something in the evening. Because it's absolutely pouring. A log go down. We think it's the Big Salmon River.
Amazing.
The amount of water is crazy. They certainly are not in drought.
Up and right on our water stop. What do you see? What do you see?
Absolute beauty.
It's right there, the absolute beauty right there. Hey, welcome to Montana. I feel great. This is what you do when you get to the campground and it's raining. Yeah. You stand at the bathroom.
By now we have met all kinds of great people. We met them in campgrounds, met them alongside the road, met them in hostels and grocery stores, gas stations, even had someone help us fix our bike in the parking lot of a hotel. And we survived the cold weather and the rain. Our bodies began to start feeling better. They weren't as sore. We ate a lot of junk food. But at this point, we became aware of the need for bear spray. Did I say grizzly bear spray? It's a whole different game sleeping out in the tent in Montana with those critters around. But the sheer beauty around us far outweighed the risk. So we put it out of our mind, slept like babies.
walking in the back door of this place. This is the church. Down in the basement. As you can see, kind of reminds you of Hope Chapel, huh? People have written all over the walls. There's our bike sitting over there. This is in the kitchen area. These are all different people who've written all over the world, all over the U.S.
The day started out perfect, but it quickly changed. We got to Muddy Gap gas station in the middle of nowhere, and the headwinds became ferocious. Another 30 miles, and it took us probably 5 hours to get there to Rawlings. Sarah was ready for that pizza. And the next day had its own challenge. We had to ride down the I-80 on our bicycle for 20 some miles. Sarah was mulling it over all night, but it turned out to not be as bad as it sometimes is in our heads.
Somehow we missed the Wyoming sign, and I forgot to tell you, I felt great. But now we're to Colorado. And this, Mr. Chuck, I feel great.
Well, we have just crossed about 2,000 miles of the most beautiful land this country has to offer. We're going to be heading over Hoosier Pass, 11,500 feet, our last pass or Continental Divide Pass. And then we will be meeting our family, most of our family, and some of our best friends in Pueblo, Colorado, before we partake in the last 2,200 miles of this journey. But we have one last stop to make, and that is with a host family from the Warm Showers website. And we spent the night with them. They cooked us dinner. We took showers, washed some laundry, slept, and got up the next morning after a great evening with them, rode into Pueblo to get to see our family who we hadn't seen in a month and a half, to be encouraged before we begin the last half of our journey. Leaving Pueblo, Colorado, the weather was really quite nice, but it didn't take long and things started to heat up. In fact, Ordway, Colorado was the last place we camped until we hit the state of Ohio. Because by 10 a.m., the needle was usually well over 100 degrees, sometimes reaching 108 by 2 in the afternoon. That's when we decided we better start moteling it just to get out of the heat. And in these little towns, motels can be a frightful thing. Our bike light, though, was our saving grace. We started riding in the early mornings when it was dark to be done riding by 10 a.m. After about a week of that, though, I really wanted to pack it in. Sarah talked me out of it, and we called up a good friend who we'd met on this trip, and he gave us some advice to take a northern route. So under his advice, we went north, and it was a game changer for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're riding through Kansas and we're heading to El Dorado. Put your arm out. There you go. You can see all these beautiful cornfields out here. It is a gorgeous morning. It's starting to heat up though. But still having a good time. We're going to head up to the Katy Trail into Missouri. Hopefully we're going to see Gabriel and Alexander in a couple days and see all the kids. That's going to be fun.
After a short but really good visit with Cambria and Alexander and the grandkids, we left and headed up to the Katy Trail in Missouri. It's about a 300-mile crushed limestone trail that crosses the whole of Missouri. And it's just down in the trees and along the riverbeds at times, and it's just beautiful. But we didn't exactly escape the heat. We still had the heat, but added to that is something called humidity. And I mean humidity like I've never experienced it before. It was like riding in a shower all day long. But it just made it part of the journey. Had our first flat of 2 the entire trip, and that was really the extent of the bike difficulties we had the whole way.
Going through the tunnel at Rushport on the Katy Trail. It's one of the original train tunnels. So cool.
And we'll take you through with us.
Well, it's humid. But it is pretty cool. Woo! Hey!
Right out the other side. Very cool.
Missouri River.
Mississippi.
Well, we rolled into Indiana, and there is no sign to welcome us. But it feels pretty good. Now, I feel great!
Not all of our accommodations were what we began to call skanky. This Airbnb came just at the right time. It was an oasis when we needed it. It lightning all night that night. We left town the next morning, and we found ourselves back to earth in this motel. And at least they provided directions for the hot and cold knobs, and the queen-sized headboard on the king-size bed was a nice touch. Here we are, and it's raining out. Yeah, we've been riding for 7 hours in the rain. Listen to it. This is what you call fun. We are now about to enter into West Virginia, and this is the town of
Wheeling.
Wheeling. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, since we're on the state line, that to let you know that I still feel great. Great! Astoria, and now we're in Pennsylvania. And you know what? I still feel great! Made it through our last state, Pennsylvania. We're going into Maryland. This is the dividing line right here. And I gotta say, one last time for you, Chucky, I still feel great! Yes!
We rolled into Maryland, and on a Friday, and something was up with me, so we headed to the local medical clinic and found out that I had some very serious saddle sores. I couldn't ride. I was put on a regimen of antibiotics, and for about 4 days I laid in a hotel bed hoping it would clear up. But we got back on the trail. With 200 miles left to DC, I did some pedaling and grinned and bared it while my wife did a moderate amount. But we made it, and it eventually cleared up.
Here we are riding on the Potomac about 100 miles out of DC. It's beautiful today. Look at this. The weather's cooperating. And we're generally just getting a nice ride. There's Sarah. She is a beast. She has got us through this. Ah, the good old days of getting water.
Wow. It seemed like one day we were there. It came to an end, and we really struggled. We wanted to be finished, and yet we didn't want to be finished. Our life had changed. So many people we'd met, so many places we'd seen, so many things that touched our senses, are just in ways that we would have never imagined. It was like being on summer vacation with your best friend for 3 months. We had such a great time. And because of that, we're gonna do it again. Hopefully this summer. Head to Europe for 3 months. We'll never be able to repeat this, but you know what? Life is an adventure. It's all new. So I just want to encourage you guys, if you watch this, you can do it. You can do it. You'll have great joy in doing it. Hope to meet some of you soon. Hope to see you on the trail. And don't forget, keep on turning the wheels. It's a great journey. And we hope you have the best one ahead of you.